Postpartum depression, or PPD, is depression that occurs after childbirth. According to the World Health Organization, 10 to 15% of all women experience postpartum depression. In the United States, it's estimated that 1 out of every 8 women, or 12% of all women, will experience postpartum depression after giving birth. If you do experience PPD, you're at a greater risk of having some sort of major depression later on in life. Some symptoms might include insomnia, loss of appetite, intense irritability, and difficulty bonding with your baby. If untreated, it may last months or even longer. My name is Tempest, and I'm telling my story today, how my postpartum turned into real depression. Hey y'all, in my last video, I did a recap of 2024. That really inspired me to just do a recap, or kind of like a testimony of some of the things I've been through the past 5 years. So at the end of 2018, I was starting to feel like myself after having a child and getting back into work and everything. All of the things. This was oh my gosh, 2018. That was a year after I gave birth to my daughter. So I had been working as a social worker for a little over a year before I quit January 2019. I remember my supervisor asking me what I was going to do afterwards. And I told him that I was going to be an investor. That was the plan. February 2019, I went to a tax auction and purchased our first investment property, which is the home that we're currently living in now. And when I say that was such an experience, it was just like a high. They don't do the auctions like that anymore after the pandemic, but if you had a chance to actually be in the room when they were doing the tax lien auctions, oh my gosh, what an experience. Loved everything about it. I'm going to add a clip in because I need to get some of these clips off my phone of when I actually went to the tax auction right here.
$1,055.24. Are there any bids?
Bid.
Minimum, are there any bids? Any of the bids? Sold for $16,055.24.
Bro, I'm fucking shaking. Is this recording? Yeah, it is. Hey.
This is a free game.
Sure.
Can I buy some coffee?
Sure.
Game being free.
Sure.
What you just did? What did you just do? This is my first time coming in here.
It's my first time coming in here too.
So
in March 2019, I found out I was pregnant again with baby number 2. I'm gonna just do 2 fingers because it's not both. With baby number 2, I knew already. If you're a woman who knows your body, you know when you're pregnant, and I knew I was pregnant before I even took the test. I think I have some clips from that. I'll insert it here. Okay, so we're laying it flat, and here is the test. Do I need to say anything else? This one definitely means pregnant. This one is barely showing up. Can you see that? It's coming in now. It's barely showing up. I'm sure in like 3 minutes it'll be full blown. But you see how strong this line is? Oh my God, I'm freaking pregnant. This is crazy. And while I was happy, I had just started feeling like myself again. Like I said, we had just bought the property and I had just quit my job. That was super stressful. So to be hearing that I'm going to have to start all over again, I wasn't the most excited about the after, but definitely happy to be pregnant. One thing I want to mention is how I felt during my pregnancy. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but my second pregnancy, I felt like people treated me way different than the first time. I don't know how exactly to explain it other than it was a lack of excitement, enthusiasm, just a lack of care. Like I just felt like ain't nobody care about me.
So I don't know if that had anything to do with my PPD. They say you never forget how someone treated you or made you feel when you're pregnant, and that is something I will never ever forget. So my birth went great. 2019, had an excellent delivery. I do have my labor and delivery on my channel here if you want to check it out. But everything was great. Of course, 2020 is when the pandemic happened. So I was postpartum during this time. So it was really a lot of downtime for me. Obviously, for everybody else in the world, we were all stuck in the house. I was just happy. Everything was good. I started a garden. Of course, I'm breastfeeding. So I'm looking good to me as a skinny girl, never having any weight, never having anything up here. I was looking good, okay, and feeling great, eating well, all of the things. So between 2020 and 2021, we was good. Everything was great. I'm not sure the exact time, but between July and August-ish of 2021 is when my son was officially weaned off of the boob. So I was no longer breastfeeding. How it happened was Logan and JoJo went and stayed with my mom in Virginia for about a week or two. And well, we were all there. My husband and I stayed for about a week. We came back home and we actually did some renovations on the investment property. And I don't know if I mentioned, but the house I'm living in now is our investment property. That's a whole nother story. We did some renovations while we were away from the kids, and we went back and got them. And that was after we came back with the kids. Joe was completely off of me, and I was okay with it until all the hormones and everything started changing up in my body. Probably took maybe a month before I felt like it was like a whoosh, like I felt completely different. Obviously I started to look different because it was no milk. It was no milk. So I completely flattened out. Not that I had much to begin with, but just from my first pregnancy to my second, my first breastfeeding experience to my second, it was like I evaporated. Everything was gone. And that's when the PPD started to set in for me. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I looked different. I felt different on the inside. I completely felt like a whole nother person, and I felt lost. I don't know how to describe it. So, so some of my symptoms, it was like an extreme sadness, it was a noticeable sadness for myself. I wasn't as happy as I usually am. I felt a lot of hopelessness, low energy, no appetite. I was isolating a lot from close friends and family, and extremely irritable. And I couldn't take care of myself. So yeah, like after everything set in, I looked different. I felt different. I realized that I was different. I was a completely different person. And I think that self-realization sent me into a deeper spiral because, like I said, I felt hopelessness. Like, is this all that I'm going to be? Am I just a mom and a wife? Am I not going to have a life anymore? Is this what it is? And during this time, I started 2 businesses, actually. One had done really well, so well that I had my own office / headquarters, and which actually some of those clips that I'm about to show inspired me to do this video, because I saw how I was when I first was in the office, and then I saw the video that I took when I was packing up and leaving the office, two completely different people. And some of the feelings and emotions started to come back to me of how I felt. It wasn't that I didn't want to do my business anymore. I couldn't do it. The one thing that kept me going was my children. I had to take care of them. Even if I was treating myself however I was treating myself, I was not letting PPD or depression stop me from being a mom and a wife, the basic duties at least, to my family. You know, thank God for that. But the biggest impact was on my businesses and my relationships with my friends and family. I was extremely irritable and I just isolated myself. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to talk because I felt like I had told y'all what was going on and I wasn't getting the support I needed to really push through. I had even talked to my doctor at the time, and my doctor made me feel like I was tripping. And you know, the surveys they give you after you have a baby, those stopped eventually. And I feel like they should have kept going because I didn't experience those feelings until after I stopped breastfeeding, which is probably when my hormones and everything were going all crazy and trying to, you know, get it together. I had breastfed for over a year. So naturally, it probably took a while for everything to, you know, get right. I didn't receive the support that I feel like I needed. And I felt like I cried out and asked for help and I wasn't getting it. So I just kind of shut down and completely isolated. I didn't want to talk about it anymore. And yeah, that's what it was. 2024, I decided that everything had to change. Like everything had to be better. Some things I did that did help me, even though I didn't feel like it was, were praying. I prayed so much. I know God was tired of me. I prayed so much, but I felt like I was one of his strongest, or I am one of his strongest soldiers because goodness gracious. Eating healthier, I started juicing and having more smoothies and fruits and vegetables, and exercise, getting out and going, taking more hikes with the kids, and started reading a lot more. I've read so many books. Anytime I saw a recommendation for a book, I'm reading it, that kind of thing. And a lot of self-help books, just a lot of personal development. One of the main things that helped me was self-care, doing self-care, taking care of myself like I used to, doing my nails, my hair. I did my hair so much in 2024. And I think just having your hair done and looking good, it does something for you, for real. And just getting out, going out with my friends. Thank God for my friends not giving up on me and making me go out, even though sometimes I just couldn't pull it together. Thank God for the times that I did. Thank God that I was able to go and be around people that cared and loved me, no matter how I was feeling. So those are the things that helped me. I know some of the treatments are counseling and therapy, antidepressants, and hormone therapy. I do have a new doctor now, and I was connected with a therapist. Thank God for that. I did consider antidepressants, but I'm not a fan of medicine, and I don't know, I don't know if it's so bad that I need to take drugs for it. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things I've been doing has been helping to regulate, and I feel a lot better now. So I don't know if I need that. Definitely recommend counseling and talking to somebody. I hope my experience makes someone feel like they are not alone. When I was going through it, I searched and searched and searched for somebody that could talk to me and that would share their experience, and it would have made a difference. Maybe it wouldn't have changed overnight, but I feel like hearing another mother's story could help. It's not always easy. Of course, you have kids and you're trying to get back to being yourself. I think that if we talked about it a lot more, it would make us feel less crazy because it was not talked about enough when I was going through it. So I hope one mom to another, I can help you get through it quicker than it took me. And I hope you feel better about yourself. Get up, be a little selfish, take care of you so you can take care of you and your family, period. If you have a story to share, I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I helped someone, and see you next time. Bye.